March 3rd. As you guys can see, we're out here doing a little shed hunting today on this new permission farm that I've got. I'm gonna be helping manage this farm, and I'll kind of touch on that a little bit later. But a couple weeks ago, I came across these 2 deer that were locked up. It had to have been there from probably the middle of November. Really nice deer just in this ditch. So we're gonna go try to get them apart, keep them intact. I called the CO. We're gonna get a couple salvage tags. We're gonna meet him here at 11. And after that, we're just gonna do a little shed hunting, and hopefully we can pick up some sheds along the way. Josh just saw a big side to a deer, and I think it's a deer that we know pretty well, actually. Look at this. I am thinking this is the side to the scar 10. This deer's got a big scar right down his back. He's real easy to pick out. And I think this is the right side to him. I'm not 100%, but good deer nonetheless. Not even 30 seconds into our shed hunt, and we just picked up a hammer. I probably wouldn't even saw it. That's a good deer.
Why the shed's going?
All right, so we just got to these locked up bucks, and at first glance, they really don't look like they're locked up antler-wise. On the G3, it's right through the middle of the nasal cavity of this other buck on top, which is just crazy to me. Not real sure if we have pictures of these deer, but just 2 really, really nice deer. It's gonna be a sweet Euro mount. Like I said, we got a hold of CO. You know, we're gonna meet him here in probably an hour and get a couple salvage tags for these deer. He said to go ahead and get him out of here and bring him up to where he could give us the tags and look at them. But see if we can get him out of here and get him up there and get a couple salvage tags on him. Okay. Yeah, the bone's on the inside. Awesome find. I mean, this buck's got a ton of character. Clear down here at his base. I mean, obviously not the way you want to find them, but a cool find nonetheless. That base on that one is insane. It's got like a old knob, yeah. That's cool. Does it ever get in your head when you wear like sunglasses that you like can't see sheds good? No. It does me. Alrighty, March 4th, we're gonna try and redo what we did yesterday. Found those deadheads just up the hill here, and Josh found that hammer shed. So we're gonna try and match it up. We got the boost set up yesterday at the Classic. We're gonna do a little shed hunting and kind of explain what you guys are gonna expect to see from this farm. So got all day to shed hunt. Hopefully we can pick up some bone. This is it. This is the pass. We're gonna find it.
He's a good boy. What you called that?
First of the day.
First one. It's like a beam right there. Not big, but it'll count.
That deer at 5 or 6 would be a mega.
Hey, look to your left.
Look at that.
10 feet. Okay, 11 o'clock.
Oh, boys.
See what I'm saying? 5 feet away. Couldn't even see it.
Hopefully the ash.
Oh, I hate tree rats, man.
Well, we're just walking across this pond dam right here. We just spotted a dead buck. It looks like, I would assume, a summer kill. Very sharp points, and obviously being in a pond, who knows what happened, but we're gonna go pull them out. I'm gonna take a picture. Yesterday, as Drake mentioned, we got the salvage tags for those 2 bucks he found locked up. And the process now is just to take pictures, and we're able to move them. And then at one time, he'll come back with any more deadheads that we find. So talk to your local CO, see what his process is, but that's what ours is. I mean, that's definitely old though. Got the green base and everything. Off this pond, south facing slope.
As you guys saw, we've had a good couple days here shed hunting. It was good to get the boys down here and hang out and you know, do a little walking without any snow on the ground. The last couple weeks have been real rough here in Iowa. It's been super cold and had a ton of snow. So where I'm sitting now is a new permission farm that I've recently gained access to. I've been friends with the landowner here for the last couple of years, and he's been gracious enough to allow me to come out here and help out and hunt. Josh and I kind of shared the same thing with these 2 farms that we're helping manage. We don't own any land. Basically everything we have is permission, so anytime that we can come out to these farms and help out in exchange for hunting rights, we definitely try to do that. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what this farm has. We ran cutting link on this farm and basically knew right when the majority of these deer shed their antlers. So, I've been shed hunting the last couple of weeks, trying to pick up these antlers, trying to basically scout this farm and learn it. Like I said, I've never been on this farm hardly at all, so boots on the ground scouting is the #1 thing you can do this time of the year just to figure out a farm. And according to cutting link, the majority of these deer drop their antlers in mid-February, so I basically went right out there. A couple of times it was -degree weather when I was out, but I knew those antlers were on the ground, and I cannot stand picking up a shed that the squirrels have gotten to. So when I was doing the majority of my shed hunting, there was tons of snow on the ground. And I know there's a lot of guys out there that'll wait until all the snow is melted and they can see everything, and I get that, but at the same time, I feel like you lose that most recent intel. When you're walking through and you can see every single bed, every single trail, every single step that those deer make, I think that can go a long way as far as shed hunting. You focus on south-facing slopes, you focus on food, ditch crossings, fence crossings, you name it. But I think a lot of guys overlook that fact of shed hunting in the snow, and I think that led to a lot of the success that I had shed hunting here. And I think I picked up over 55 antlers before all the snow was melted. So just keep that in mind when you're shed hunting, especially if you're watching your trail cameras. That's just another tool that can help you pick up more sheds. So I was fortunate enough to pick up a couple really good sheds. This is a deer that Josh picked up yesterday. We're going to call it a heavy 10. Just a real pretty, clean, typical 10. He'll be definitely on the hit list. There's one deer in particular that I'm super excited about, and it's a deer we call Scoops. He's got both these kind of ends of his main beams kind of scoop out, just real palmated. This is an awesome buck. He's going to be #1 on the hit list next year, so I'm definitely looking forward to the summer when we can get back and get the cameras back out, and hopefully he makes a heck of a jump. But this is exactly what you want to see as a 4-year-old, is a deer like this. So really looking forward to him. And there's one more deer that I call Big Heavy, and this deer is not going to score great, but just a cool old gnarly 8-pointer. Unfortunately, we didn't find the other side, but he's just got some cool stickers here on the sides. Just an awesome buck. He's also 4, so setting up to be a good 2021 season already. But I'm really excited to see what all 3 of these deer do. Deer hunting's going to take a little back seat for me. Next Wednesday, I head down to Georgia, follow my buddy Philip Culpepper around. We produce Realtree Spring Thunder. Super excited to get down there to Georgia, get down there with the boys and get after some turkeys. So I'll be doing a little shed hunting before I head south to go chase turkeys all season, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting back out here, and this will be my #1 priority when I get back in the summer, is to getting this farm set up. So definitely looking forward to getting back here in June. That's the next time I'll be back and getting back into deer mode. So hopefully you guys had a chance to come to the Deer Classic, check out the booth, see the guys, and I'll catch back up with you guys in the summer.
Hey guys, welcome back to another week's show. This weekend, me and the guys are down at the Iowa Deer Classic. We're enjoying the show and catching up with old friends. It's nice to be getting out. Weather's finally warming up here in Iowa, and as you can see, Drake and Josh have been having some luck finding sheds. My farms are still pretty much buried in snow, so I'm looking forward to this warm up. We're going to have temperatures in the 60s this week. Should get that snow burned off and we'll be able to get out and do some shed hunting these next couple of weeks. Really looking forward to doing that with the kids. On our next segment, we're going to join Max, and Max is going to talk about one of the farms that he and Grant have permission on. It only has about 10 acres of cover, and so it might be overlooked as a really solid hunting farm, but Max is going to talk about why that farm sets up so well.
Well, today is March the 2nd, and this is Grant and I's first time out doing really anything this spring. As most of you guys know and have experienced, we had a really rough winter this past year, bringing a lot of snow, a lot of cold temperatures, and so unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to get out and do any shed hunting or do any scouting or anything like that until just now with the warmer weather that's come about. We are standing right now on the farm that I was fortunate enough to harvest my buck this past season. This farm is only about 60 acres, and most of it is in this tillable ag field behind me. It's only about 10 acres of timber total on this tract, so it's a rather small piece, and it really hunts even smaller than 60 acres. When we got permission on this farm pretty late in the summer, so the first thing we did was get out, put some boots on the ground, take a look around, and deploy some cameras. Right off the bat, this farm blew our minds. We had multiple really good deer on camera within the first month or two in the summer in Velvet. The first deer that actually showed up on camera was actually the deer I harvested, and we didn't put 2 and 2 together until last night, but it was pretty cool to be able to look back and see that the first Velvet buck that we got excited about was the one I was able to take. So we had that deer. We also had another really big deer that we called Eddie. This deer was our first really big deer that showed up on this farm. I mean, the amount of excitement that Grant and I had pulling that card was unreal. We went absolutely ballistic, and as you can see from the pictures, it's a truly special deer. Another deer that we had that showed up a little bit later. He didn't show up in the summer, but he did show up early into October as a deer that we call Davy Jones. And the reason he gets that name is because he's blind in one eye, and so with the eye patch to kind of hold the pirate theme, we went with Davy Jones. But as you can see from the pictures, another tremendously big deer. So we knew right away, even by the beginning of October, that this farm was really something special, even though it was small. But having so many mature deer in and around it, Grant and I really knew right off the bat that this was going to be a farm that we were really going to have to pick and choose our battles. We knew that that many mature deer probably wouldn't tolerate a lot of pressure, and for us to have them even in a close proximity to this farm, we really wanted to be careful about how we approached it. We established pretty early that this was going to be more or less a rut farm. A lot of the reason we kind of classified it as that is the way it lays. We have 2 really good inside corners on this farm that we'll show you guys through drone shots. Another reason that we really decided to classify this as a rut farm, and one that we didn't want to put a lot of pressure on, is because what we did that I really think was important, and that was a huge key to our success on this piece, was look at the bigger picture in the surrounding neighborhood. After looking at aerials and flying the drone around, getting a feel for how this farm laid within the surrounding acreage, we really knew that we weren't going to hold a lot of deer. I mean, only having 10 acres of timber and it being kind of creek bottom, river bottom type ground with only very little food after the beans were gone, we knew that we wouldn't hold a lot of deer. But we did recognize really early that we had opportunity with deer cruising through this piece. I think that over time I've started to learn, as I've gained and lost permission throughout the years on small tracks like this, it's pretty easy, for at least for me, to get discouraged when I'm not holding deer. But one thing that was really brought to light this year for myself was that even though you have a small track like this and you're not necessarily holding deer, it can still be really successful. As I said, Grant and I knew very early that we were going to have to pick and choose our battles. And so we did know that having beans early in the season was going to be really great and give us an opportunity at something early. We do also have an alfalfa field just to the west of these beans that is on the neighbors, but really close. And as you guys did see this past season, Grant actually was able to get out the first week of October on this farm and have an encounter with the deer that I ended up harvesting. After the early season came to an end, we knew that our next best opportunity was going to be that late October time frame. And the reason we knew that is because, as I mentioned earlier, we don't have a lot of bedding and a lot of timber on this farm to really hold deer. What we did realize really early is that our neighbor to the south, fortunately, has probably one of the biggest chunks of timber in the whole neighborhood. As far as we knew, the majority of the deer in this surrounding area were bedding in this block of timber. At least our trail cam pictures kind of hinted that the deer were traveling north and south, and most likely to that chunk of timber to bed. This presented us with a unique opportunity, having this fence-lined small draw that runs north and south on this farm. We know that the neighbors to the north, just across the road above me here, have ag fields. One of those fields we knew was corn and was cut just a few days before I was able to get in here and hunt. And so we knew that with having the neighbor most likely holding all the deer, but the deer wanting to travel north to that ag, we knew that this little draw in this inside corner was going to be pretty productive. And this leads right into October the 22nd, where Grant and I did make our first hunt on this inside corner inside of our timber, knowing, or at least hoping, that most of the deer were making that journey from south to north, whether that be the bucks maybe following the does, or whether the bucks were just going to feed that time of year. And as you can see, our strategy behind this hunt really worked out to perfection, with the buck that we were able to take coming most likely from the big block of timber to the south and working north right past this inside corner. So going forward, I think there's a lot of weight that I can now put at looking at these small tracks like this, and not specifically looking at what a small piece may have to offer, but maybe taking a step back and looking at the bigger picture of the natural deer movement through an area and not just one track.
Calls me, he's like, hey man, sorry to let you know we gotta go another direction. Yeah. My heart's broken, you know? Yeah. But you gotta be kidding me.
So I gave Jared this conversation already.
Okay.
But this year was my first year ever hunting, and to get prepared for it all summer long, I watched your YouTube channel.
All right.
Every single episode, every single season. And it just mean a lot if I could get your autograph.
Oh, heck yeah,
I already got Jared on this, and
look at this, you got a wooden...
I made that myself. I got 2 little bucks this year.
All right.
Don't have any land, just got public land, but I mean, I guess that's all you need to get started.
Heck yeah, that's how I started.
Yeah. Gross 188, 183.
We're wrapping up the 3rd and final day here at the Iowa Deer Classic. We appreciate everyone that stopped by and said hi. I'm excited to get back home and hopefully find some sheds, so maybe we'll bring that to you next week. Everyone have a great week. We'll see you next Monday.